and Drake and Future has not been on it. So, not too sure who gave Elliott Wilson the authority to say this.
There's a rumor going around that Drake and Future might have resolved their issues, and that Future could potentially be featured on Drake's new album, Iceman. Right now, this is just speculation. No one has confirmed it. Future hasn't said a word, and neither has Drake. So it's still up in the air. Is he on the album or not? A lot of people are bringing this conversation back because it's been floating around before. Back in 2024 and 2025, folks were talking about Drake and Future's relationship, whether they had buried the hatchet and if they'd make music together again. Now, this comes up again because Charlamagne mentioned it on Breakfast Club, bringing up Drake's album and saying Future could be on Iceman. That's what's reigniting the debate. Here's the clip in question. Charlamagne said he spoke to someone who listened to Iceman and claimed Future is on it. Let's break down exactly what he said. Here's the thing with me. Why show Charlamagne if he doesn't really care about Drake? He's not the biggest Iceman fan. Charlamagne is the last person who would be hyped about any Drake music, so the fact that they let him drop that Future info is interesting. But here's what always gets me. Charlamagne doesn't care about Drake, so why would someone who heard Iceman share that with him? You see what I mean? It's like, why even bother? And the wild part? Drake trusted someone enough to let them hear Iceman, and that person went straight to Charlamagne. Makes you wonder if Charlamagne is fishing for info or trying to mess with the rollout. Hard to believe, right? That said, I do think Charlamagne has reliable intel. He does have insider info, but this one, hard to swallow. Someone who doesn't care about Drake is giving us a drop that Future is on Iceman. Makes you skeptical. But y'all let me know what you think about Charlamagne's take. At first, it didn't feel believable because it was coming from him. Then DJ Head chimed in saying he heard the same thing. Future is definitely on Iceman. Hope it slaps. Confusing, right? I'm wondering if DJ Head is referring to what Elliott Wilson told him on a previous podcast. We'll get there in a second. Here's where it really kicked off. Young Thug posted while in prison saying, Drake, Future, Metro Boomin, we're all brothers. Music ain't the same without us. Future reposted it, and everyone thought maybe they were squashing their beef. Then Future added, I'ma stay out of the way, but in the way of getting money. Basically saying he's avoiding drama, only focusing on business. People took that as him being mutual. He doesn't care about the old issues. Then Elliott Wilson confirmed that Drake and Future privately buried the hatchet, revealing on the bigger picture that the What a Time to Be Alive collaborators squashed their beef over the phone. That was back in 2024. But then academics came in and said it wasn't true. They hadn't squashed anything. Suddenly, everything's hearsay, conflicting stories everywhere. So now the question becomes, who do you believe? Elliott Wilson or academics?
And Drake and Future has not been on it. So, not too sure who gave Elliott Wilson the authority to say this. But from what I hear, that is not true. That is 100% cap. Now, I'm not going to say Elliott Wilson is contorting or misrepresenting facts, but whoever his source is, from what I've heard, whoever that source is.
Again, academics say it's not true, while Elliott Wilson says they squashed it. That pretty much ended the conversation until Future stepped in with an interview for GQ magazine. In that GQ interview, Future talked about the Kendrick-Drake beef. He responded saying there was a beef, but he acted like he didn't even know it was happening. Said he never participated in rap battles and didn't even realize there was a situation. Future was acting blind, pretending nothing was going on. And man, when he said this, it was hilarious. Future acting completely oblivious to the fact that Kendrick and Drake were beefing. He said, I don't even know what's going on. Tried to act like he didn't care, like it wasn't his problem. Then they asked him about being overlooked and Kendrick Lamar's Big 3 bar. Future said, Big 3 on my song? I'm supposed to be the one who gets mad. I'm still confused about that. He continued, nobody cares what I think. That's what's so messed up. I haven't said anything publicly about how I feel, so why is everyone mad when he talks about me on my song? Future's basically saying, y'all forgot about me. I ain't part of this Big 3. If I didn't get mad, nobody should have gotten mad. If he did make a big deal about it, then someone else could respond. But since he's not, it shouldn't be a problem for anyone else. He's really saying that if he doesn't react to Kendrick's Big 3 line, nobody else should. And I think he's hinting at Drake here. Drake got offended by the bar, but this is Future's track. Kendrick claims the big three on a Future song. Future doesn't react, so anyone else who's upset is overreacting. You could tell Future wasn't thrilled the beef showed up on a record he was on, but at the same time, he didn't think anyone should make a big deal. When he says stuff like staying out of the way but in the way of getting money, he's leaving the door open, maybe, potentially, allegedly. Regardless of whether Future is cool with Drake or not, Kendrick set up Not Like Us for this moment. When Future and Drake collab, we'll go back to Not Like Us, and Kendrick called it out in the song. You run to Atlanta when you need a check balance. You called Future when you couldn't get the clubs. You called Future when you couldn't get a hit. You called Future when you needed help getting a #1 spot. And I'm tired of people saying Future needed Drake's help, because in reality, Future's been doing just fine without him. Atlanta fans back Future more than Drake. Other collaborators like 21 Savage and Young Thug might rely on Drake, but Future doesn't need anybody. He just needs himself. And here's the crazy part. Drake needs Future more than Future needs Drake. That's why Kendrick put this in his song. Even if Drake and Future reconcile, people will still say Drake had to run to Atlanta to get a hit. He needed Future to go #1. That's the genius of Kendrick's lyricism. He predicted this, called it long before it happened. Even if Drake works with Future, everybody will reference Not Like Us. Drake needed to go back to Atlanta, needed Future to hit #1, and Kendrick called it during the beef. That's the wild part of this whole story. But the big question, will Future be on a song with Drake? In my opinion, I don't think so. Honestly, I think it's cap. Even if they did, people are going back to Not Like Us, saying Drake needed Future to get a #1 hit. Y'all tell me what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.